Hey guys, it is Kelly here. We are going to showcase something today. I just finished maxing out every single weapon in Modern Warfare 2022, or Modern Warfare 2, whichever you prefer to call it. So I thought I would run through each individual weapon and my opinion on which guns I think are good, whether or not if they're worth using or not, and maybe just like overall what would be the best method for leveling them up and stuff. So starting off, we're going to start with the M4. So M4 is really just the iconic like weapon of choice. It's probably like the best weapon to start leveling up with. It's one of the best weapons for casuals. It's just an overall like good casual weapon to use. It's nowhere near as good as the M4 from Modern Warfare 19, from what I've been told. Y'all forgive me. I run out of breath pretty quick. But anyway, I'd say that this gun was definitely really easy to level up, and the only annoying camo challenge with it really is just to get the kills from behind. But if you play enough shipment and do enough flanking around with Ghost and Dead Silence, you'll get it pretty effectively. So, great gun nonetheless. I'd say it's definitely in the top three of the assault rifles. TAC 56. This is definitely the best assault rifle in the game right now. Currently, it's the one that all the pros use. I personally think that this gun is way too strong. I think it needs a little bit of a tuning in the nerf category. Very easy gun to level up, very easy to use, and I already have this thing gold as well. It is not a hard weapon to use at all. Whoops, sorry, 1 second. Yeah, it is not a hard weapon to use at all. It's basically like the Scar H from Black Ops 2 or the one from the original MW2. It kills in 2 to 3 shots, and even with a suppressor, it just feels like the gun melts. So, not much need to be said here other than it's the best assault rifle in the game. The Cast-Off 7.62. This is basically the AK-47 of this game. This gun is okay. I personally think it has a little too much kick on like the vertical recoil side, and it doesn't have really good sprint to fire time. It's an okay weapon to use if you're just trying to have fun and mess around with a different gun. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's like top tier. I've heard it's pretty good in Warzone. It's like really good through shredding through armor, so that's a good sign. But as far as like going for camos and stuff goes, it was more of the annoying ones to get done. But it's still a solid gun. It kills in 3 to 4 shots, and I think this is the only gun that cannot get a one-tap head. One of the only guns that can't get a one-tap headshot in this game. I think it takes at least 2 bullets to the head to kill. It's the only way that this gun can get a 2-shot unless they're already weak. The Latchman 556. I personally think this is one of the worst assault rifles in the game. It's here. I'm just scrolling through to look. I'd definitely say that this is probably maybe the second weakest assault rifle in the game. It has pretty good iron sights if you want to play Warzone, and it's really good in DMZ. But for actual multiplayer, this gun is not good. It has a slow ADS time, has a slow sprint to fire time. Of course, there are attachments that you can use to balance that out, but then it just makes the gun's recoil a little kicky. And because of the iron sights that it has, you would have to use a red dot in that. And it's also pretty weak, in my opinion. Like, when I was going for gold on this in shipment, which is just get 3 kills 10 times, I was struggling to kill people with this gun. It is really good at getting like headshot multipliers. I think that it can have a one-shot headshot tap potential if you have the right setup on it. And one of the things that this gun really has going for it, it has, like you see there, it's a really good fire rate. But it has one-shot headshot potential, but it's not consistent. This gun is just very inconsistent, but it's decent. The STB 556, basically the AUG. I personally really like this gun. I think if you guys know who Treats You is, I'll leave a link to his channel in the description later. He made a setup with this gun that basically turns it into a SMG hybrid with an assault rifle, which kind of reminded me of the Peacekeeper. And I actually still have that setup. Let me see if I can find it real quick, actually. I think I still have it. Yeah, I do. So this is the setup that you really want to use for it. And here's the tuning. I'll show the tuning off on it real quick if you guys want to watch that. But this gun is really strong. It dominates up close. The tuning on this is actually messed up. I gotta do that real quick. There we go. But this gun is, I would say this gun is really strong. It's pretty good at killing long range. It's pretty good at killing close range. The tuning on that's messed up as well. And like I said, it's basically just an SMG hybrid. Plus you can, with an assault rifle, and you can put a 42 round mag on it. Very good assault rifle. I highly recommend using this one if you're trying to get good gameplays. It's a really good gun. Okay, the M16. I would say that this is the third weakest assault rifle in the game. It did get a tiny buff, and it can now one burst, but you have to hit all of your shots with it. But it just has, and it got a recoil buff where it doesn't have as much recoil with certain attachments now. And I know that the semi-auto version is actually a little bit stronger. Some people prefer to use it as a semi-auto. So the gun is definitely better than what it was when it first came out, but it's still a pretty weak assault rifle. I actually hit a pretty nasty feed with it on shipment when I was going for the 3 streaks. But it's more of just that gun that you kind of use for fun. It's not really like your try-hard type weapon. So it's not bad, but it's not great either. Okay, the Cast-Off 74U, or the AK-74U. This gun kind of reminds me of the STB, as we said. You kind of build it more to be a submachine gun and not necessarily an assault rifle. The gun recently did get nerfed, and it's a little inconsistent now, especially with headshots. Like, I remember I was point blank range with somebody and I hit him with 3 shots and he didn't die. I don't know if it was because I hit him like low in the feet or whatever, but sometimes this gun 3 shots, sometimes it 4 shots. Sometimes it'll one-tap headshot, and sometimes you'll hit them with like 3 or 4 shots across the map in the head and they won't die. So the gun is not as good as it used to be when it came out, but this is still like one of your top tier weapons that you want to use if you're tryharding and trying to level up and stuff. So I highly recommend this gun. Again, sorry for all the noises. If you guys were wondering, I am autistic, so I do make a lot of noises and things like that. So nothing, unusual or anything. It's just part of who I am. Okay, the Cast-Off 545. It's basically like the other one. What is it? The Cast-Off 762. It's basically the AK-47, but it more resembles the AK-117 from COD Online and COD Mobile. It has a faster fire rate, I think. Yes, it does. Okay, but the problem with this gun is that it has too much horizontal recoil. Even when you put the horizontal recoil boosters on it, I just feel like this gun is really inconsistent. But vertical recoil wise, it's actually pretty good. But if you can control it anyway, this is actually one of the rifles that I prefer to use the iron sights on it, just because of how the build is. But it was really easy to level up, and it was really easy to get gold. But it's definitely one of your weaker assault rifles. So I wouldn't recommend it if you're trying to like try hard, but it's definitely not a bad gun. It's just not a great gun. It's more in the mid-tier range. If we're looking at like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, I'd say this is a tier 3 weapon. Okay, the Chimera, basically the Honey Badger. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I think this is the weakest gun in the game. This gun is very inconsistent. I remember hitting somebody with 4 to 5 shots across the map one time and they did not die, and it was in the upper chest. Hit them with 3 headshots across the map and they didn't die. Even on shipment, when I tried to make it more built like a submachine gun or give it, higher bullet velocity, higher damage range, the gun was just really inconsistent. I don't know if they nerfed it or what, but when this gun first came out, it was actually pretty good. But I do not like this weapon. I personally think that this is underpowered. I think it needs a buff. And when I got this thing gold, I had to build it up like an LMG because it has a 60 round drum attachment. And I basically used it like an LMG and just kind of head glitched a lot with it. Like that's how I had to get my streaks with it to get it gold. I think this is the worst gun in the game. And it's a darn shame too, because I really enjoyed the Honey Badger in Ghost. The M13B. I definitely say that this gun is not bad because of the fire rate, but it's weak on the lines of the Cast-Off 545. It has really good fire rate, but it has lower recoil. So this one is definitely better than the cast-off 545. But the only issue with this gun is just its ammo. The camo challenges to get it gold are not fun. You have to do point blanks, which I understand with it being a high fire rate weapon, but even on shipment, that's still kind of hard to do. And in order to unlock it, you have to defeat that scientist in DMZ, which I don't agree with. I think we should be able to do I understand them wanting to make a challenge just to unlock a gun in DMZ, but we should have a multiplayer unlock challenge as well. Kind of like how Cold War did, where you could either do a challenge in multiplayer or you could do a challenge in zombies. And some challenges were easier to get the guns unlocked in zombies compared to MP. So this is definitely a good gun. I don't think it's that bad. I actually have a pretty good gameplay with it, but it's definitely not like a try-hard type weapon. It's more of just like a weapon that you would use to mess around and have fun with, and you could still do decently well with it. The ISO Hemlock. I personally think right now that this is the best assault rifle in the game. This gun feels more like the Honey Badger, or like how the Chimera should feel. The Chimera feels more like a weaker version of the ARX now, and this feels more like the Honey Badger because you can put an attachment on it that has a built-in silencer as well. So this feels more like the Honey Badger. This gun kind of feels like how this one did when it first came out. Like I said, I felt like they nerfed this gun, but I think this is the best assault rifle in the game right now. Good damage, good fire rate, good recoil, good iron sights. It has an attachment on it that increases the damage as well. That's why this gun is really strong. I got this gun leveled up in gold really, really fast. I was using this gun in that video where me and Treats both got 105 kills together combined in that shipment lobby where we carried those noobs. Very, very powerful weapon. Highly recommended for tryharding and leveling up. As far as like compared to the TAC 56, because I said that this was the best rifle in the game too, I think that if you're more of like a tryhard, you go for the TAC 56. But if you're going more of that, tryharding, trying to level up, you would use this one. But if you're actually just trying to sweat, you would use this gun basically. So I would definitely say that these two are probably tied for the top weapons. I think that the TAC 56 is a little bit better. I think that the iron sights on it are a little bit better as well. But these are definitely your two go-to weapons for the rifles. Okay, the battle rifles. The Latchman 762. I personally don't think that this is a bad gun. A lot of people gave this gun a lot of crap, and don't get me wrong, I understand why, and that's because it has really, really bad recoil and really bad accuracy. But there is an upside to this. If you are mounted and you use a certain attachment on it, this thing basically has no recoil while you're mounted. So I just mounted up on the boxes or behind shields on shipment, and I was tearing through people with this gun. I think I went on a 15 kill streak with this gun on shipment just doing that. And you can also get, I think, a 50 or 60 round mag with it as well. So I basically just built it up with basically what it is, a battle rifle. I used it like a rifle with the ammo of an LMG. I think that this gun is underrated. If you're one to rush around and stuff, it's not that good. This is more of like a weapon that you use to lay back in camp. And it's more of like you're just passive type of weapon. So very underrated weapon. I don't think it's that bad, but I understand why people don't like it. The SO-14. This is basically the MK-14 from COD 4 or the M14 from Black Ops 1, you name it. I don't think this gun is that bad. I think it has one of the best iron sights in the game. I have a pretty cool blueprint for it. I think I got this playing DMZ. Or, I don't know. But I think that this weapon is actually really good. It has the same upside to it that the Latchman has. It has no recoil while you're mounted, but it has very low recoil without being mounted as well. The only downside to this weapon is that its mobility and its strafe speed is really low. It has slow ADS and sprint to fire time, but it has that one-shot headshot potential, and yeah, by the way, the Latchman does as well. But this gun is definitely not bad. It's a good gun. I definitely recommend it if you're just trying to have fun with a weapon. Marksman has a pretty good video of it in Search and Destroy, so definitely a good gun. The TAC V. This is actually a really good gun. I actually really like this weapon. I think Let me look at something. If I remember correctly, this gun is fully auto or it's semi-auto, and you can switch it between one or the other. But the full auto version is definitely better. I would definitely say it's almost as good as the TAC 56. It has the same damage and the same iron sights. It basically resembles the Scar. The only problem with this gun is it has lower ammunition and it has more recoil, vertical recoil. But the gun has the same strength as the TAC 56. It's the same gun, it's just built a little bit different. So I would definitely recommend using this gun if you're trying to try hard and level up. Very underrated weapon, very strong. Oh, whoops, sorry guys. The F-TAC Recon. I definitely would say that this is the best battle rifle in the game. This thing can one-shot headshot, it can two-shot almost across the map. If you have the build correctly, it has low recoil. The only downside to this gun is its ammunition. You have to run ammunitions box with it if you're trying to go for big streaks, or you have to run scavenger. This gun was really easy to get gold. My best streak on this game was actually with this weapon. I went on a 22 kill streak on shipment and died 8 off an MGB because the game ended and I had to, well, the game was about to end and I had to push out with it. And it's not a good gun for like pushing. It's more of like your sit back and kind of hold down an area type of weapon, and that's basically how I was playing. Definitely the best battle rifle in the game. It doesn't have a, I don't think this gun has a fire rate cap either. I can shoot it really, really quickly, and I have a pretty decent trigger finger, trust me. So I definitely recommend this weapon. Oh baby, the submachine guns. What can I say about the submachine guns other than they are probably the biggest letdown in this Call of Duty? The Vel 46, or the MP7. Oh wait, let me go back and say this. I'd say out of all these TAC rifles, the Latchman is definitely the weakest one, but it's underrated. Alright, so let me look at these SMGs real quick. Yeah, I would say that the Vel is, or the MP7, I'd say that this is the second weakest SMG in the game. It's definitely in the tier 3 category. It takes a while to level up. This gun is just too inconsistent. I have a pretty good gameplay with it on shipment, but this is the problem with this gun. If you're aiming up high, the gun will basically 3-shot and it can 2-shot headshot. Perfect. The only problem is that even if you get at a distance and you hit him in the below the waist, 5 shots, if you hit all 5 of your bullets, you will not kill him. If you hit him in the upper chest or even headshot at long range, it'll take 4 bullets to the head to kill him. Very inconsistent gun. It was even worse when the game came out. It had a lot of horizontal recoil. It got a slight buff to it where the horizontal recoil was almost non-existent. So this is how I would describe this weapon. It's not necessarily a try-hard weapon. It's more of like a fun weapon to use. I enjoy using this weapon on shipment a lot because it's, like I said, it's close range and it actually has a really decent fire rate. And now that it only has that vertical recoil and it comes with some decent ammunition, I think this is one of more of the fun weapons to use, but it's definitely underpowered. Okay, the MX-9. This is basically the same as the STB 5.56. They're actually just the same gun. The only difference is this one is the submachine gun version, and it has less damage range than the STB. There's really nothing else to say other than that. They're the exact same gun. You use the exact same build on them. The only difference is the STB kills more consistently at range, and this one has, and it has more ammo, and this one has less ammo. There's nothing else to really say about that. It's a really strong weapon. I'd definitely say that it's probably, I'd say it's probably a tier 2 weapon to use though, and that's just because the tier 1 weapons are just so good. The Latchman sub, basically the MP5. This gun, I hate to say it, this gun is a huge letdown. It has terrible range, has a good fire rate, but it has such terrible range, and I just gotta be honest with you, I don't like the iron sights on this gun. I feel like the iron sights make this gun way too inconsistent. It's definitely more fun to use on shipment, but you cannot hardly kill anybody off a head glitch with this gun. This is one of those submachine guns where I had to put a red dot on it, and I don't like putting red dots on submachine guns, but I had to for this gun. Unless I was playing shipment. If I was playing shipment and people were running around, it was a really good gun. I would still put it I would probably put this in the tier 3 category with the Veil. But that's all I really have to say about this. It was a really easy weapon to level up, but it's underpowered. Okay, the Vaznev 9K. This is basically the SMG version of the AK-74U. If you see somebody using this gun in a lobby, unless they are going for a camo, you have absolute 100% rights to call them a scumbag. I ran into a person using this earlier. He was level 450 max rank, had the battle pass completely maxed out because he was using the skin from it, and he was using Orion on this, and he was just sweating with it. His goal was just to basically try to impress everybody in the lobby. I'm not impressed. When I see people using this gun against me, the first thing that comes to my mind is, you're a scumbag. The gun is easy to level up, it is easy to use, it's very powerful, and it's the one that the pros use. I'd definitely say that this is the best SMG in the game if you're really trying to like make people angry and you're trying to sweat and try hard. But yeah, that's really all I have to say about it. It was easy to get gold. I have gold for all the SMGs, and this was definitely the easiest one. Once I get polyatomic for this gun, I will never use it again because it kind of reminds me of those weapons in COD where it's like this gun just ruins lobbies. If you see somebody using this gun, it just makes me want to pull it out and bury you with it. I know that probably sounds toxic, but I'm sorry. I do not like it when people use this gun against me. It irritates me. Alright, the FSS Hurricane. I think this gun is very underrated. I feel like this gun got a buff because when I first played this game and I was using this, I felt like this gun was underpowered. But after I maxed it out and after, shipment was in the game and I used it more, I felt like this gun was a little bit stronger and it has really big ammo capacity. I would definitely say that this is, a tier 1 weapon that you use if you're trying to try hard and level up. Very easy to get gold, very fun weapon to use. It has so much ammo. And I got close to an MGB with this. I think I died on an 18 on shipment with it, just rushing around. It has great iron sights and great damage range, and I think this is the only SMG other than the Vaznev that has the potential to get a one-shot headshot. I don't know if maybe like the people were weak or something, but this gun was ripping people for me. I really like this gun and I highly recommend it. Okay, the mini bag. What can we say? Basically the P90, or the Bison of this game. Not P90, PP19 M1 from Modern Warfare 3. This gun, it's so fun to use. If you are using this gun against me in shipment, I have mad respect for you. Because not only are you using a gun that has a lot of ammo, but you're using a weapon that's more of like, it's really strong if you know how to use it. The only downside that I have with this gun is that it recently got a nerf that I didn't think was deserving. I think the biggest reason it got a nerf is because it was the best SMG to rush around with. It had a faster sprint to fire time than the Vaznev did, and it had way more ammo. So it was more like your tryhard weapon that you use on shipment. And it was really easy to level up. I think that this was the gun I had the most fun with when I was going for gold. I had a lot of fun using this weapon, and I don't think it deserved a nerf. Because them lowering the sprint to fire time on it, that I understood, because the Vaznev has crazy sprint to fire time, and this one being faster, yeah, that was crazy. But they also nerfed the damage and the damage range on it. It's much weaker now. I didn't agree with them nerfing that part of it. Treachu has a couple nukes with this gun, and it was so much fun to watch him run around with this weapon on shipment. It kind of reminds me of when Treyarch nerfed the Kuda in Black Ops 3 when the VMP and the Vesper were the go-to guns. Like, the Kuda was like your tier 3, not tier 3, it was like your third SMG of choice that you ran around with. It was a tier 2 weapon and they nerfed it before they nerfed the Vesper and the VMP. That's basically what the nerf to this gun reminded me of. So if you use this gun against me, I have mad respect for you. It's a really great weapon. I definitely recommend it if you're trying to try hard and level up. It's a lot of fun to use. The Bass P. This gun is definitely the worst SMG in the game. It's a tier 4 SMG. There's only one tier 4 weapon in the SMG category, and it's definitely this one. Worst SMG in the game. It is weak. It is underpowered. It has low ammo. It was a pain in my butt to get gold because it was really hard to get the 3 streaks with it, even on shipment. I had to get into a party with Trees where we were spawn trapping the other team just to finish gold camo for this weapon. Very underpowered gun. I don't recommend it unless you're just trying to get some type of variety in it. It was a pain to level up as well. A very underpowered gun, and it needs a buff. The P90. Treats, you told me that this gun is the new mini bag. This gun is definitely the hardest to level up because it goes all the way to level 30. It's the highest level up in the game. But I would say that this gun was a lot of fun to use. It was easy to get gold. It was hard to rank up, but with some double weapon XP and running some squads and playing shipment 24/7, I got it done pretty quickly. Maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours at the most. But there's really nothing else to say. It's basically the same thing that the mini back was. The only difference is that it only had a 50 round mag and the mini back had 64. It's basically the new mini back. It has the same sprint to fire. I think it has the fastest sprint to fire in the game, apart from the Vaznev, and it's stronger than the mini back at a distance now, and it has really low recoil. Yeah, this is definitely a tier 1 weapon. Highly recommend it. Oh baby, the Fennec 45. This is probably my second favorite SMG in the game. The reason being for it is that people don't realize how good this gun is. This is the only SMG that can beat the Vaznev close range, and that is because of its fire rate. The only problem with this gun is its ammo capacity. You have to put extended mags on it, and when you do, you only get 1 reload clip with it. So you have to run ammunitions box and you have to run scavenger with this gun. That is the only downside to it. This was the go-to SMG in Warzone, I know that, and I know that it recently got some type of nerf. I was told it's still very powerful, but this is probably my favorite SMG to rush around with, specifically because people just don't know how good it is. If I'm running into one person, like I said in the lobby, using a Vaznev, just that one guy, like I said, who's just running around sweating his balls off, using Orion, Platinum, Gold, Polyatomic, and he's max rank, I might pull this gun out for a little bit just to ruin his streak, and then I'll go back to doing what I was doing. Very fun weapon. Highly recommended if you're trying to try hard and level up. I know one of my good buddies, his friends, died too often MGB on Shoot House with this SMG. Very big props to that guy. I mean, yeah, this gun is very good. Please give this gun a shot if you're trying to level up. So let's go ahead and do this. Fennec tier 1. This is tier 1, tier 4, tier 1, tier 2, tier 1, tier 3, tier 2, tier 3. I'm going to go back through and do these as well. Tier 1, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. Tier 2, tier 1. Tier 2. Tier 4. Tier 2. Tier 3. Tier 1. Tier 3. Tier 4. Tier 3. Tier 1. I didn't realize that I forgot to do that. Sorry, guys. Alright, I think what I'm going to do so I don't forget is I'm going to start off with that as well. Alright, so shotguns. Tier 1, Tier 3, Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 2. Yeah, there's only one Tier 3 shotgun, and it's this one. Alright, so let's start. The Lockwood 300, aka the 725, aka the Olympia, aka just a double barrel shotgun, or an over and under. The Lockwood, in my opinion, in this game, I don't think this is a bad shotgun. I know that it's very inconsistent at one-shot hit fires. I actually tweeted at the developers and told them that this gun would be a lot better if it had more one-shot kill range potential. And like, you don't have to make it insane like the 725 does, but unless they're point blank range, this thing cannot get a one-shot hip fire. You have to ADS with it. This thing is more consistent if you ADS it. So definitely build this gun more around as a rush ADS type of shotgun and a more of like a passive shotgun that you use close range. But the Lockwood is definitely very underrated. I think this is a really good shotgun. The Expedite. Before the KV broadside was added to this game, this was basically the Brecci of this game, or the Brecci. This thing had high fire rate, had one-shot kill potential, had decent ammo in it. The only problem and the only downside to this is that to get the camos for this gun, it's a pain. Leveling it up was a huge pain, and it was inconsistent with one-shots, and it had a lot of recoil. But it was definitely not a bad gun if you had the right build. The Bryson 800. Whoops, wrong button. I would definitely say that before the KV broadside got added, that this was the best shotgun in the game. If you had the right build on it, this thing never hit markered. Occasionally you would get a random hit marker at a distance and you would get a random hit fire hit marker, but this was the most consistent one-shot kill shotgun in the game. Very fun to use, very easy to get gold. I think I got all 3 of my 10 3 streaks, all 10 of my 3 streaks in the same game with this weapon when I was going for gold. Easy shotgun to level up, and it was a lot of fun to use. The Bryson 890. I'm going to say this is the weakest shotgun in the game. It has the only upside that this shotgun has is that point blank range. It has the fastest sprint to fire time in the game. So if somebody is point blank range, just pull the trigger, you will stop sprinting, you will stop walking, you'll stop doing everything, and the gun will just shoot and they're dead. That is the only upside that this gun has. I actually hit a pretty sick quad feed with it on shipment. If you want to see that, I'll link the video in the description later. It's on my channel. But this is definitely the weakest shotgun in the game. I don't like it at all. Here, I'll actually show you the build on it because this is the setup that you have to use for it. I still have it. This is definitely the weakest shotgun in the game. It's underpowered. It has very inconsistent one-shot kills. Just not a good gun. I don't recommend this if you're... Now that the KV broadside's in the game, if you were having trouble getting one of the shotguns done, you know, this was one of them for me. But now that we have a 5th shotgun in the game, you know, especially with the Lockwood or the KV broadside, I think those are the 2 guns that people struggle with the most. But I just told you, the Lockwood, just ADS it more, you're going to get way more consistent one-shot kills. But if you're just trying to get 4 shotguns gold, definitely skip this one. This shotgun was a pain in the butt to get done. It wasn't that hard to level up, but it's the most inconsistent shotgun in the game. I don't recommend it. Do not use it. It's underpowered. If it had more one-shot kill potential, just a little bit further in range, and had more one-shot kill potential when you ADS'd it, it would be better. And that is why this gun is underpowered, because even when you ADS it, I got 3 hit markers on somebody not even 10 feet away from me while ADS'd. Well, they may have been about 15 feet away from me. I over-exaggerated that a little bit. But from 10 feet away, if you hit fire this gun, you will get 2 to 3 hit markers with it. It is very underpowered. Alright, the KV broadside. It looks like the AK-74U, but it's a shotgun. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This is the most annoying gun in the game. This shotgun ruins lobbies. If you use this weapon against me, and I eventually get mad enough that I'm getting killed about it, I will pull this gun out and I will bury you with it. I have one gameplay on my channel of that. It's actually titled "You Do Not Use This Gun Against Me." Well, wait. I think the video is actually still uploading. If it doesn't upload by tomorrow, I'll get something. Don't worry. But this gun is basically the Brecci of this game. It's, in my opinion, it's a little bit better than the Brecci from Black Ops 3. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's better because it actually has one-shot kill potential. It has better one-shot kill potential. Hip fire, ADS, you name it. And, oh my gosh, what were the freaking developers thinking? You can put fire rounds on it. Definitely the most annoying gun in the game. Do not use this weapon, please. If you're trying to level it up and you're trying to get it gold, okay, but as soon as you get it gold, as soon as you get platinum, as soon as you unlock polyatomic, Orion, you name it, please put this gun away. Do not use it. It ruins lobbies. If you use this gun against me, I hate you and I will bury you with it. I have a class made with it specifically to counter it. This thing ruins shipment. And if you were somebody who used this gun against me, I hate you. I'm just saying, if you love me, I don't love you for using this gun against me. I'm just going to say it. If you use this gun against me, I do not like you. I'm sorry, that's really toxic, I know, but I cannot stand dying to this gun. Okay, moving on. Alright, LMGs. What can we say? There's only going to be one tier 3 LMG on this list, and it's this one. The Rap H is tier 3. RPK tier 1. The RAL MG tier 1. The Icarus tier 2. HCR 56 tier 2. And the second MG30 tier 2. These are the two tier 1 LMGs. This one's tier 3. The others are tier 2. So, I'm going to do all of these together. In category. The LMGs right here that are tier 2, the reason why that they're tier 2 is because, for one, they were really easy to level up, and two, they had a really fast reload. They're just a little underpowered. This one actually can one-shot headshot potential, and it's basically the same thing as the MX-9 and the STB. It's just more of the LMG version of it. But the only problem with this gun is just its ammo. I feel like this gun runs out of ammo too fast. But out of these three in the tier 2 category, I would definitely say that the Icarus is better. But, man, there's really nothing much to say here. These two LMGs, though. The RPK is definitely the best LMG in the game. Very good mobility, fastest ADS, good ammo, easy to level up, high damage, you name it. The RAW is the hardest gun to level up, but it is worth it. This gun has no recoil. I went 67 and 7 with this gun on shipment. That gun is actually on, or that gameplay is on my channel. I will leave a link to the description of that as well. This LMG is a lot of fun to use. I highly recommend it if you're trying to switch things up. I don't think it's that good in Warzone, but I know that this gun is pretty decent in DMZ if you find it or carry it with you. But out of these two, the RPK is definitely the best. I know the RPK got nerfed in Warzone. I've seen the videos, trust me. This gun was overpowered. And it hasn't been nerfed in multiplayer. If you use this gun against me in shipment, it's actually pretty hard to counter, but I'm actually not that bothered by it because it doesn't have as much ammo as this one. I think the RPK only comes with 50 to 75 rounds at the most. But I have a lot of respect for people who use this gun against me because the RPK is one of those weapons that's like, it's fun to use and it's the best LMG in the game. Okay, the Rap H, the worst LMG in the game. The only problem with that is, for one, it is very slow. It has the weakest damage, and it has very bad recoil. The only upside that this gun has is the fire rate. It actually wasn't that hard to get gold, but for whatever reason, even though it only goes all the way to level 19, this was the second hardest LMG for me to level up. It has bad iron sights, so you have to use a red dot on it. I just did not like this LMG. I only leveled this gun up and got it gold specifically because I had to for Orion. But this gun is weak and it is underpowered. Once you finish this gun, I don't recommend that you ever use this gun again. It's not good, and it has probably the slowest reload in the game, honestly. Moving on to the marksman rifles. Oh boy. First of all, let's just say this. Why is the crossbow in the marksman category? The marksman rifle category. I'm not going to classify as a marksman rifle. We'll do it on its own. Okay. So, crossbow will be done on its own. So, I guess we'll go ahead and talk about it. The crossbow, I just finished leveling up today. This thing is so much fun to use. It is fun to use. I hate dying by it because, well, after I used it, I understood why I hated dying by it. But It's a lot of fun to use. If you see somebody laying prone with this and they're getting kills with it, don't get as mad at them because there is a camo challenge for it where you have to get prone kills. So cut some of those people some slack. But this thing is a lot of fun to use. If you're just trying to mess around and have a good time, I definitely recommend the crossbow. The only downside to it is you had to unlock it through that event. And why was this gun not in the game when the game first came out? It is probably one of the most fun weapons in this game to use. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is how I'm going to do this. So there are marksman rifles that are like semi-autos, and then there are marksman rifles that are like snipers. So I'm going to do the sniper versions of them first, which is going to be the SPR 208, the Lockwood MK2, the SAB 50, and that's it. Okay. So there's 3 marksman rifles that are basically snipers. So I'm going to rank those first. So I definitely say out of the sniper versions of the marksman rifles, the SAB is definitely the best one. This gun and the SPR are basically the same gun. The only difference is the SAB is faster. This is basically what the SPR in Modern Warfare 19 was. It's the same gun. They're basically the same gun. The looks are just different. But this one is faster. It's stronger. It's definitely the fastest rushing weapon in the game. If you were actually trying to rush around and play aggressive, use this gun. That's all there is to say about it. The Lockwood MK2, or the MK2 carbine, the lever action. This is also a tier 1 weapon, I would say. It's definitely really fun to use. It has a very consistent one-shot. The only and it has like it actually has a decent hit fire, so point blank range you can treat it like a shotgun somewhat. The only downside of this gun is it took a while to level up. That is the only downside. Other than that, very fun gun. The SPR 208. So this is a good gun. The only downside to it is, as far as like getting that one-shot kill range at a distance, this one is slightly a little bit more inconsistent than the SAB is, and it has a slower ADS and a slower sprint to fire time. Other than that, they're the same gun, but because of that alone, this gun falls in the tier 2 category, but it's still a good gun nonetheless. Alright, so the semi-autos. The EBR-14, which is basically the same thing as the SO-14. I don't know why they did that, but hey, whatever. So the EBR, the LMS, the TAC-M, and then the Tempest Torrent. Tempest Torrent. This gun just got added a couple days ago. This is definitely the best marksman rifle in the game. I would argue that it's better than the FTAC because it has more ammo. I definitely say that this is the best like semi-auto in the game. It has a decent fire rate, it has decent recoil, it has more ammo, has that one-shot headshot kill potential. And I personally don't mind that as much on this gun for some reason, but I definitely do think that it is a little too strong. They're definitely going to have to nerf this gun. I've been told that it's kind of dominating Warzone. It kind of reminds people of the DMR meta back from Warzone 1, which luckily I never played during that time. But I definitely think they're going to nerf this gun. So currently, this is the best marksman rifle in the game in the semi-auto version. If we were to compare it to the SAB is still better because faster sprint to fire, one-shot kill potential, much higher. But for semi-autos, this gun reminds me of the FAL. If you guys know what I'm talking about, FAL, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 19, this is basically the FAL of this game. Very strong. I expect them to nerf it soon. Alright. The EBR-14. I'm going to put this as a tier 2 gun. I don't think it's bad. I definitely think it's better than the SO-14. The upside to it is it was really fast to level up. My only downside with this is its ammo, as you see, only has 10 rounds. And it's just like, I really don't understand why they basically made the same gun. It's the same thing as the SO-14. There's really nothing else to say about it. The LMS, I almost called it the IMS. No, I did call it the IMS. So, this gun kind of reminds me of, the Latchman 7.62. They're almost identically the same gun. This was definitely the easiest weapon to level up. I would still put it in the tier 3 category because it has very, very low ammo, just like the EBR, but it has more recoil and it has some weird weapon sway. And I mean, it has some decent fire rate. It says that its accuracy is really good, but it has a really odd weapon sway. I don't really know how to explain it. You just have to use it. But this gun's definitely not bad. It's probably a tier 3 weapon in my opinion, but it's really easy to level up, so there's really nothing much else to say about that gun. It's decent, but it's not great. Oh my lord. Tier 4, Tachyon. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This is the worst gun in the game. This gun was pardon my language, but this gun was a pain in my ass to level up. I hate this gun. It is the marksman rifle version of the TAT 56. Is that right? Yeah, so it's the TAT V and then the TAT 56. It's the same gun in the marksman rifle platform. This thing, the only upside to this gun is that it can one-shot headshot, but it has terrible fire rate. It has weird recoil, low ammo, low mobility, so inconsistent with killing people. Hit detection feels off. This is the worst weapon in the game. I hate this gun. If you can skip out on using this weapon to get it gold, then absolutely recommend it. Do not use this weapon if you are trying, unless you have to. This is the worst weapon in Modern Warfare 2. It's underpowered, it's underappreciated, and it absolutely deserves it. I've got gold for this gun already, but I don't plan on using this gun for platinum. I'll use one of the other ones. This is the worst gun in the game. Nothing else to say. It is terrible. Alright. Moving into the snipers. Alright. Alright, so this is how I'm going to rank these. How would I rank these? This is really hard because all of these can one-shot. The only two that are inconsistent are these two. They're basically the same thing as the SPR. They look the same. See? They're basically the same gun. They just have different looks to them. So basically what I said about the SPR is what I'm going to say about these two. Would be the same thing I'd say about these two guns. If they weren't that hard to level up, I would put these two as tier 2 sniper rifles. The Signal 50 is basically the Lynx. This gun is actually really good. My problem with it is it has such slow ADS, but this thing is very highly accurate. I'm probably going to put this as a tier 1.5 gun. It's not tier 1, but it's not tier 2 either. It's somewhere in the middle. Exactly what it is here. It was probably one of the more harder weapons to level up, but it's also really fun to use. Okay. So these two are tier 1. The MCPR 300, this is definitely the best sniper in the game, in my opinion. It has the fastest rush speed. It is similar to the SAB, but this thing is very inconsistent at black scoping. That is one thing that I have found. It has good ammo, good damage range. This is the best sniper in the game. I had a lot of fun leveling this thing up. The only difference is that the Victus has a slower ADS, and you run really, really slow with it, and it doesn't have great ammo, but this is what I'm going to say. This is the tier 1 weapon for search. If you're trying to rush around or go for quick scoping feeds, this is your weapon. If you're playing search and destroy, it's this weapon. These two are tier 1. I had a lot of fun leveling this thing up on shipment towards the end. At first, I hated it, but this gun is basically the Tundra from Cold War. It's basically the L96 from Black Ops 1, the L11, like you name it. It's the same gun, great damage, just slow ADS. You run really slow with it, has a really slow fire rate. So for that reason, it dominates search. there's really nothing to say about the riot shield other than if you want to level this thing up, activate a double weapon XP token or play during double weapon XP on shipment, and just throw decoys around. That's how I leveled this thing up. It actually, I don't have this thing gold yet, but I've been told that it's actually not as bad if you can stun people and come up behind them. I'd say that out of all the shields to get like gold camo for or like complete camo challenges for, I'd say that this is the easiest one to do. So that's all I'm really going to say about this. I'm going to say the same thing about the combat knife and the dual kodachis, I think that's how you pronounce it. I think melee weapons are actually pretty good in this game. I think that the combat knife has a more accurate melee lunge than this one, but melee weapons are actually pretty fun in this game, in my opinion. I think that they're actually pretty fun to use. I think they're very accurate, and they're very easy to get gold, unlike other Call of Duties, and that makes me happy. Okay, rocket launchers. Alright, so the Joker is basically the Javelin. So this is how I'm going to rank these. RPG is tier 1, the Joker and the P-Law are tier 2, the Strela P is tier 3. This is the worst launcher in the game. It has very slow reload time. It's not very good at killing people with. Getting the double kills with this thing, or the rapid kills, 2 kills without dying, was a pain. I did it on shipment, just got lucky. But the only upside that this rocket launcher has, as you can read up there, it's actually pretty decent at taking down kill streaks. If you empty like a clip of like an SMG on a VTOL or a chopper or Overwatch and then shoot one rocket at them with this thing, it basically destroys them. It's pretty good at taking down streaks. It's the only upside. The Joker and the P-Law, the only reason I'm putting the Joker at tier 2 is because of how it works. You have to lock on and it has to shoot up in the air and then come down and kill people. Y'all know how the Javelin works. But, so for that reason it's at tier 2, but it has the same, like kill potential that the RPG does. The P-Law, the only problem with the P-Law, it's a lock-on launcher. It's the only lock-on launcher in this game apart from potentially the Joker, because the Joker can do that, but that's not really what it's used for. But it's very weak at taking down streaks, other than the UAV and the counter UAVs. It's a little inconsistent killing people, but it's not as bad as the Strela was. It's like in between this and the RPG, but it has a slow like trigger reaction time, if that makes sense. But it has pretty good, blast radius and damage. The RPG is definitely the best launcher in the game. Decent at taking down streets, free fire rocket launcher. This thing can kill you with one rocket with battle hardened on or bomb squad, whichever one it is that basically gives you flight jacket. This thing will kill you in one rocket even if you have that perk on, without direct impacting you. RPG, best launcher in the game. Okay, the handguns. Alright, so this is how I'm going to rank these. P890, tier 1. The Desert Eagle or the .50 GS, tier 3. X12, tier 3. Ballistic, tier 2. The X13 is going to be a tier 1. So the full auto and the P890, or the X13, which is basically the full auto X12, the X13 and the P890 are the 2 tier 1s. So if you get the P890 akimbo, it's always gonna hit. If you hit both bullets, it's always gonna kill people in one shot with 2 bullets hitting at the same time with akimbo. This pistol has a very strong 2-shot kill range. The only downside to it is it took a little while to level up, but once you got the right setup with it, this thing was a lot of fun to use. This, in my opinion, is the most fun pistol in the game. Now, the X13 Auto, this is basically like your pocket weapon that you keep as a secondary if you're trying to rush around or like try hard and level up. Because if you run out of ammo, this thing has a fast, quick draw. It's basically like the Cap 40 or the B23R from Black Ops 2. The only difference is it's not a burst. But it kills you in like 2 to 3 shots, 4 or 5 at a distance. It comes with 50 bullets in a mag. This weapon can almost be used as a primary. It's just a great backup pocket weapon. Same as this. So, I have a pretty good gameplay with the X12. We're going to talk about these two next because they're both tier 3. The reason why the Deagle is at tier 3, because the Deagle actually has a one-shot kill potential, same as the like Magnum of this game. The only problem with it is that it's very inconsistent at one-shot kills, has very bad hit fire, and it took a while to level up. That is the only downside to this gun. And it has, my biggest complaint about the Deagle is that it has a slow fire rate, slow trigger response. It's the Deagle in this game. I don't like it. The X12, I have a 75 kill game on shipment. This thing has great hip fire accuracy. The only downside is it's a little weak. It rarely one shots with both bullets hitting, and I just feel like that its sprint to fire isn't as good. And single hand as a single pistol, if you're using it as a single pistol, it's definitely the weakest pistol. But other than that, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not great. Now the ballistic, this is basically the 44 Magnum or the Python. The reason why this is the only tier 2 pistol is because if you akimbo them, if you have the setup correct, it is very consistent at killing, because with a single pistol, it can one-shot kill potential, has great hit fire with akimbo. So if you have the right setup on this, you're going to be running around popping people. The only reason it's not tier 1 like the P890 is because of the fire rate. I have a really good gameplay on shipment with this gun where I went 16-0 in the start with just using this. Check it out, it's on my channel. You'll love it. Okay guys, so that is the end of the video. So I guess I'll show you some of my perk setups that I like to use. But that is the end of the video. I really hope that y'all enjoyed. If y'all have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section. We're running out of time here. I'm almost max rank. I'm level 448. We're almost done maxing out the battle pass. So once I do that, I guess I'll show you all my stats. They're probably not going to be that great, but if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Sorry for like a really long video and a long rant, but I just really wanted to record this and give my honest opinion. And I guess the last thing I'll say is that I can't believe that I've played this game as much as I did, because I personally think that this is the worst COD ever. I would rather play Infinite Warfare over this game. I'd rather play COD Ghosts over this game, Advanced Warfare, World War II, Vanguard. I personally think this is the worst Call of Duty ever. I don't know how I have grinded it as much as I have. I got to give myself props for that. I just don't like this Call of Duty. I just feel like that its movement is bad. You're punished for rushing. It's just not a fun game, honestly. The only thing that I enjoy about this game is I love the weapon system. I love how easy it is to grind camos. And I love how easy it is to level them up. Because it really didn't take me that long to level up. The only reason why I'm just now doing it is because I really only played this game when shipment 24/7 was the thing. But yeah, that's going to be the end of the video, guys. I really hope y'all enjoyed. If you have questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and tune into my Twitch stream at twitch.tv/kevans_74. And God bless. I hope y'all have a good one. Thank you for watching. Peace out.